The Thai army is already very good. I don't know how strong the Holy Spirit is. That photographer boy. He is also known as the God of Light. Last time ignored. The priest said that sometimes the regent likes to do things casually, but it's also very reliable. Whether it's knitting medicine or disposition of thousands of love spirit battle, all because of Quang Wei Kai City that devoted a lot. They claim to protect Quang Wei Kai City. That's the meaning. The other thing is the details. Except for my daughter Ra. But where did this kid run off to? He replied that he had appeared in the academy before and beat your son. But suddenly, he's missing. I sent people to find a lot of places, but they don't see any signs. Anxious to ask. It's not that someone came to the newspaper without saying it. To become the master of the soul. The mayor is waiting in the city hall. That makes these two people confused. In the hall when I heard the news of the photographer. Death also came immediately. He was glad to see her. I was in such a hurry to get here. It's not about me. But next to, he's stopped. He's got a little upset face. When I saw her eyes, he hurriedly turned his head and startled the photographer. He hurried in the way to ask, "You haven't even said hello." It's a shame we didn't go to the wrong place. She turned her head away. But in my heart, why am I not happy? It's because he didn't say goodbye. Or is it because the Taurus makes its face flushed? But the photographer took her hand. To be stupid. It's like there's only two of them now. The photographer put in her hand. The gift said, "Please accept this ice cream. Then pull her hand and tell her our friends are here. Let me introduce you." They looked at the two of them hand in surprise. Suddenly, he was afraid to withdraw his hand, make the photographer stunned. The little fish now bowed his face down. 6 are stupid. If you look at it, eat the snow. All of your voices are colleagues. We all know each other. This is the fiancé of 6 snow adventurers. After a while, all the bugs played together. And the dead man stood silently thinking, I can't believe they went there this time. From small to large, we've just been to the ruins of LAN City. I was startled when someone came. Turns out, that's the owner. The same deep too is coolly entering. The scorching gaze of the eucalyptus makes the death rhinoplasty. The priest standing next to him glanced at him. Aphid has a mild cough. 6 adventurous souls bewildered, called master. And then he became the master. So, but the regent is welcome to his father-in-law. This word makes you shoot people. It makes people panic and say no words. 6 adventurers standing by thinking of calling SAO. How fast is it? The sword was also quickly remembered. Then out, this fake superpower is the master's sidekick. I remember suddenly stopping behind. Right now I'm thinking. There's no way they were like that. The photographer is now happy to be with his father. His wife faked a cough for a few hours. He said on the way home, I see the battle has been completed. I give you the control seal. I immediately agreed, but in my heart, it's like selling a girl in return. Right, where are you going this time? Do you know running around outside right now? Is it very dangerous? The master of music. We have recently started the whole war. Relics nearby. I can't believe I went into the dark side of the world. Amazed, he asked back the original SAO strategy. You can come in real Photographer, laughing happily, he picked up the chain and said, "Yes, I got a lot of good stuff. For example, this is the chimpanzee chain. He has been trained so much to honor people." He bent down and looked at the chain of blood. "The guy next door is also amazing." He laughed and said, "This is for you. Dare to look at. To think we have accepted is not to admit. I am his father-in-law. And the priest next to me is happy to say, haha. Thank you for making him look uncomfortable." The photographer came to talk. A house does not need guests. Red face. The photographer really doesn't know how big or small. But the father's personality is good. That's what Six surprisingly said. "I can't believe you're such a close friend and host. It's beyond imagination. Born chasing women to kill. I learned it from the human Cain." The photographer said now. "In fact, this time it opened up the front door. We've made a big discovery." Apologize asked in surprise, "What do you see in this strategy? No one's ever been in before." The police officer said this. "But my father-in-law still considers me an outsider. This is also accepted." A cold, angry eucalyptus. Then take it with your hand. Then asked coldly what was in the fray. To make the photographer stunned. Then he said that the battle was connected to the other world. Completely different from us. The eternal battle is connected to the world of darkness. There are a lot of monsters though. There are also 13 families. It's been carried over for thousands of years. Moreover, there are 3 false power level transmitters. Ask the dark hell of the world. SAO buff fake power transmitter level. It's not stronger than us. He thought too well. That means there's a place where progress can be made. They are defenseless, only they know. The photographer came to ask, "That's right, master-in-law. Do you know how to love your master? Listen to love the owner. It's amazing to me and to me. Ask your boss where you found your love." The photographer has never seen it. Just heard about it. The Lord replied, "I really know how to love you. But I don't know, is that the one you heard about?" Last time loving master appeared. It was hundreds of years ago. There was once an old man, take in a hungry and cold girl. At that time, the city of Kwangwi had a large family, just behind the snow. It is the red pearl. There are 10 black Kim love spirit master. The strongest man, it's even about to break through to the world. This old man, it's working for the red pearl. The child grew up in this family. Until that child was 17. The photographer was curious to ask what happened. Then he said, the city was still quite chaotic. The people of Hong and Gok also boast. Overbearing, familiar. Then there was a day. The old man for not completing the task. He was beaten to death. That teenager, missing from here, and everyone thought that. He was wiped out by the red jewel. More than 15 minutes later, the boy showed up. Claiming to love the owner. To attack the red pearl alone. Start killing like crazy. 6 exclamation of a person who beat a whole world. That's really bad. IP tone continued. The red pearl has been destroyed. There is no survivor. Other nations basically can't help. The photographer spoke up. Let's see at least some of that. The owner is also seriously injured. Then he was pursued by the whole city of Kwangwi. It's a haunting battle. Then Love the owner fled to the sun's son, Vang. The photographer asked again, then why? Deep thought, I didn't know about these things before. He gave his eyes to the devil. Then talk again. the master lover who founded the Dark Raw Guild. Some people said after he founded the Dark Lord. Soon after he died, some said he was still alive. 100 years later, the power of the Dark Guild is growing. And the leader of the Dark Guild is called the Master Lover. The photographer was surprised to hear this news. He remembered the man in front of the beer stand. The person I saw before. He's the leader of the Dark Order of Sao. Although he is a master, but I didn't see any leadership on him. Maybe that was when he was young. The time he was missing. That's when he went to hell. Wait until I get to high school. Maybe we can see him again. Leaf Cardboard said, a genius like that, it becomes the enemy of all mankind. It drives people crazy. Silly male guards who said if that was the case. I see the sword here. Aesthetic cardboard, that young man. Is the person over there, Sao? I asked the identity of this teenager. He replied that he was a sword. The sword bow bow to the master's side music. I am Master Zhuo's servant. The photographer told me to call me a photographer. Yi Tu stunned aesthetic Sao servant. His anger is unfathomable. IP thought, I can't even see through his power. This servant's name is too bad. Fortunately, one family. He turned to speak French. He is your man and you have arranged for him. The photographer agrees. Then turned to the sword. In this government, you just walk away like your own house. Stupid people think this is my house. And then he said, okay. You guys go home and practice. I have something to tell the photographer. They immediately listened and quickly left. Before going to the photographer, look at Tavan and laugh softly. After everyone has gone. I'm going to tell my husband, what do you want to say? EP tongue blankly said photographer. Don't think I don't know what you mean. You're not allowed to call me a musician. In front of so many people. Otherwise, I will not forgive you. The mayor told me this is my father. I just gave you a lot of information and information. It has just changed. That's very frustrating. But Yi Tu stood out and advised him to speak. The dog is the owner anyway. Please save some face. Your life and death are safe. Just nod your head. The Lord and I will not stop you. But how to address the extra music? It must be called after bringing the dowry. Then he asked the precious Kai chimpanzee blood chain like that. Has not been counted as a SAO dowry. Go away. Say what you need. I immediately brought it. I was angry and cold to see this expression. The photographer thought, I think the band was convinced. Vietnamese judges and Korean IP no longer threaten anything. You just have to have the heart of the dead. Thanks to my own efforts. We also have to think about the historical process. My lover in my previous life. Surely this life will love me too. Love is slowly cultivated. Now we just need to deal with the urgency. On the one hand, the gods of the world and the Dark Guild. On the other hand, the beast is about to move. Mr. Li said, we've found evidence of the gods. It's over with the Dark Lord. They even investigated the human part that the Dark Guild arranged in Kwangwi Kai City. Next we have to deal with the gods. How are you? What do you think the photographer said? I can't believe there are people in the dark. See, there are many spies. IP Tung Bao, to be honest, I really don't hope. See, Kwang Wei Kai City internal struggle occurred. But there's no other way. He added that both sides are big players. Our family's strength is not strong. Find another family to help. They are afraid that they have the power of the dark. If the photographer says that, just split up and deal with it. He was so worried that he would beat the grass snake. It will not be easy to act later. The photographer immediately got his attention, or something like this. Musicians find the time. Gather all the masters of the clans. They say the tide has reached its limit. Can't help but control. We have to negotiate together. The rest is for the Lord to deal with. Until then, all the heads of the gods. They will all be in the holy war. Master's music leads people. Destroy the human part of the Dark Guild. And then send a part of the elite army to attack the gods of the world. There is no head in the way. I admit that this is also a way. But there's still risk. He laughed. The father-in-law had other plans for a long time. I will continue to be in the academy. Previously, I wanted to lead. Let the gods of the world reveal their tales. I did not expect to lead Radip Han. I hope this time it works. But when I'm at the academy, and he's not working, vice versa is lackluster LAN wrong as disc. On the side of the gods. Right now, a hooded priest with a juror calling his master. They just got the news. The photographer has appeared again. I spend every day playing with students. Don't seem to worry. The judge told me not to care about him. Let him be arrogant for a while. The snow is investigating us. But nothing came of it. This little connection leads us to play. It's just fishing bait. I despise the gods of my country. The judge ordered a notice to everyone. Don't move. Kier immediately received the order. According to the plan, it will be dark in 2 years. The new guild created the Great Beast Dynasty to destroy Kwang Wei Kai City. Until then we withdraw from the city, into the mountains after the tide, and with the Dark Order into the Dark World. I can't believe the snow is starting to fall. We are now. We have to distract their attention. The Dark Guild must be ready to move. Then change the scene. When the night falls in the seclusion of the dead van. She's standing there thinking at the pillar right now. With the cool wind blowing. Think about the photographer. Sometimes it's like a child. Deep calm again. What kind of relationship do you and I have? While the photographer sits by and practices. He silently called out the name of Death Van with a smile of pleasure. Many days later, he was sitting there talking to the old men. Suddenly, someone called him master. Not good. We discovered. It's 100 miles away. We will arrive in about half a day. Hearing this news was a surprise. Ask the Sao dynasty, what is the scale? The name tells millions. The most in it is love. Normal and fluent. It's partly Inbak and Jan, and golden level, but I didn't find my favorite in the legend. I think it's okay. The police immediately ordered the alarm to ring. The whole world suffers. The emergency bell was immediately sounded. So the photographers practicing here immediately startled thinking about the Sao dynasty. God and the dark arts. I can't be patient anymore. The bastard thought that the Beast dynasty destroyed countless civilizations. It should have happened 2 years ago. Lucky now, we've got the world's great battles and hells. At this time, Trach also appeared. Ask the photographer the bell is the beast of the Sao dynasty. The photographer confirmed that it was indeed a beast. Go and summon everyone. Stay here with the sword. I went to the owner, and he hurried away. Stop asking me to go with you. The Lord also said that I would go with him. As the right protested, no, everyone is waiting for me. I told you, he used his imagination. He goes to the owner's side. Everybody's here right now. That talk and talk loudly. IP tongue is commanding the bottle's subordinates. Right here. Ask the master. What is the scale of the tide this time? The priest replied, this time it's mostly at hundreds of thousands of levels. In front of the strongest animal is the black metal level. The photographer was surprised to say that it was only at 100,000 levels. They are still able to cope. I thought it was so fast. What do you ask as a tutor? Then the photographer pretended to say nothing. That's right. What kind of beast is it? He too meets the snow wind. The mayor asked how he would come. The priest replied, there are about 5 hours left. They will attack every southern city first. 5-watch cosmetic photographer, now that's enough time. Then ask Master IP. Can you help me mobilize 500 people? We're going to defend the south wall. Surprised, the priest asked 500 SAO people. But now you're in danger. Now, whether it's the gods of the world or the Dark Guild, they are also targeting you. She immediately turned on the bad side. Why the hell do we know the translation? I was surprised and asked, so how do you want someone with a VI? The photographer replied, normal martial artist is okay. Make the face tutor think. What's the use of 500 ordinary fighters? Maybe the photographer figured it out. Then he agreed. I'll send you 1,000 fighters. Whatever you want to do, they're revered by the photographer. Thank you, Master IP. Then he turned to look at the clam. The band seems very busy. Don't bother people anymore. And then he thought, he's ready to go. The priest is hiding. The excitement is coming. Inside the houses, people were turning off the lights to go to bed when it suddenly lit up. When I saw the soldiers marching outside, the child in the house heard a noise and woke up. Mom, I'm curious to ask you. The mother smiled softly and said, don't you worry. Your father will cast out the beast. Meanwhile, the husband, their father, ready to stand guard on the side of the wall. They think in their hearts, I don't know how many people died this time. Right now outside the city hall, the masters of the world, they're all assigned to the walls. Only the people of the gods are left. The police officer immediately appeared and went to see him. He solemnly called out to be the master. I did not expect Kwangwi Kai City to encounter the beast's tide. For Kwangwi Kai City, we will definitely fumigate the fire. I don't know how to be an owner. Let's arrange the gods. What we do, the supreme master of the Holy Family. Move to the north wall. But the south will be most strongly attacked by the beast. Please come with me to the front. The judge immediately agreed. Be willing to work with the Lord. I think the season is coming. We can't let the judge leave the front line. And then he looked at me and said, let's go, brother. He became the owner because. Then they both galloped off to every southern city. While it's here, 6 adventurers say that they should take people out. Then what are they doing? They looked down. I saw people digging holes under the orders of the photographer. We are told to follow suit. So take a shovel and lend a hand. The 6-year-old said I will go too. A while later, The guards on the wall are confused. When looking down, ask each other, what are they doing? Digging 2 big trenches around the lead wall and pouring oil in. There are also many small holes in the ground. I've prepared a lot of bamboo. I'm hiding something inside. The teacher also came, non-stop, to move these barrels of medicine into a pile. Time goes by. The masters of the worlds are in place. Prepare to fight at the walls. On the wall of Kwang Wi Kai, the fresh blood of countless ancestors. Class, fighting endlessly with the beast. No one knows that they're only home, whether it's invaded by a predator or not. Suddenly, a soldier turned and left. To become a master, IP and Shen Hong went to this place. He looked down hard to understand. What are you doing? The priest stood by and glanced at the rose. And then he replied, I don't know. Laughing in my heart, thinking, well, probably the photographer's attention. Underneath, the city people are digging hard. The rose looked down with contempt. Ask these idiots what they're doing. What's the use of doing these things? If you dig this hole, you can stop the Sao army. It's inanimate. Tran Fai Long, even if the weather is coming soon. It's better than doing nothing. The pink judge glanced uncomfortably. It's like not wanting to beat the beast. Still have to rely on fist power to be the truth. 4 old men with many beards. The greatest power in the world is already here. IP2 spoke up. This time, it's just 100,000 level beast. We don't have to be so stressed. It's been blocked a few times. It's just that Kwang Wi Kai City has to sacrifice a lot. The 5 hours quickly passed. The sun is coming to this place. One of them is complaining about the sun. The afternoon has not yet arrived. They looked at each other and asked if they would not come. The photographer thought, the path of the beast is uncertain. In the process of moving, you can change the direction. But if the Dark Guild stops moving, not really coming anymore. Surprise when the sun rises. That's when the lights come. It also makes everyone stunned. Ignore the scene in front of you. The soldiers shouted that the tide was coming. All reinforced defenses. Defend it all quickly, come back quickly. Immediately, the rebels bent their ass. Run into the city. The gate immediately closed to block the entrance of the beast. The soldiers were all nervous and nervous. The bearded man turned to the man next to him. Are you afraid this guy will admit it? Many bearded names reassure not Sao. Fighting for a while is not scary. When the blade turns red, there's no time to be afraid. The Lao animals came here extremely ferociously, with red eyes full of gas. Right now, the Indians are ready to fight. The hero roared full of gas. Besides, Tran Fai Long stood motionless. Not say a word. The photographer suddenly appeared, but saying wait made me wonder. The master of music. Don't rush them. Waiting for the animals to attack the wall. It's not too late to move. The priest agreed to think in his heart. Let's see what the photographer has planned. The soldier standing above the wall shouted. They're close. It's 3 miles away. The animals are charging aggressively. Dry Grace hero in the heart full of anxiety. I have not yet decided to wait a little longer. A little bit of pastimes. When the evening comes, the masters will be promoted. Stop the first attack. When you are tired, you will rest. Then take turns with the guard. The judge asked the owner, "What are you waiting for?" He thought in his heart, "As long as IP goes out, we'll have a chance to deal with him." A smile full of meaning. "Don't worry, we have a way to do it for others." Full of doubt in my heart. Outside the walls, the animals are still ramping forward. People screaming. They're close to the wall. 6 people watching in their hearts full of worry. I don't want to turn into snow. No wonder I'm still a child. Snow, a spicy pepper standing behind. Take a shot in your ass. We really have no money. He confidently said no more. Prepare to fight. 6 adventurers clenched their hands, growling with anger. IP2 silently thought in his heart, the body is the owner's daughter. I also absolutely did not back down. Stop the child behind, looking towards aesthetic photography in the dungeon world. I've been through the moment of birth and death. Let's say we actually lose 7. Let me and Harry die together. The photographer watched closely. They're about to enter the first line. The animals gradually plunge straight into the trap that the photographer has arranged. Under the feet, there are the fire potions that are all over the place. And then there's the rumbling noise. It's rocking the whole sky. That makes most of the week. Right back with the coffin team. And as they were approaching, there was an explosion. Make the animals of the tide fly from the sky. What did the soldiers ask for? At this moment, the photographer is looking at. He said that snow lovers are afraid of fire. But normal fire will be extinguished by the cold air on them. I poured a lot of red oil. It also adds materials like phosphate. Once encountered, the fur or skin of the beloved snow will automatically burn. The first ones were burned, the last ones came. The animals are sweet.